Hi, boys and girls. So, this is our reading time, and this in the red letters is our learning intention. It says, in this unit, we will practice the characteristics of a good reader by exploring different genres. Then our success criteria are on the green sentence strips. I can share my ideas and feelings. I can make connections. I can listen carefully. I can understand the difference between fiction, nonfiction, and poetry. I can learn new words. Well, you definitely learned a new word, genre, which is types of literature. Here's the book we read, Jamaica's Blue Marker. What genre do you think it belongs under? Is it fiction? Is it nonfiction? Or is it poetry? Remember that fiction is made up and nonfiction is true, real facts. What do you think? You're right. It's fiction. It's made up. They call it realistic fiction because it really could happen. So today we're focusing on, let me show you, we're focusing on character, setting, problem, and solution. We did this with Mr. Sticky Paws. Do you remember that story where the character, Tex and Izzy, and the cat's name was Cow, and they were all having breakfast, and what happened? It was in their house, the setting was the house, and the problem was that the maple syrup spilled. How did they fix that problem? That's the solution. They gave Cow a bath. They all worked together, didn't they? Today we're going to find out or figure out who are the characters in Jamaica's Blue Marker. Where does it take place? That's the setting. What is the problem in the story? And how did they resolve it? Stay tuned. Hello, boys and girls. I'm going to do a quick little review of the book we read yesterday. If you didn't listen to my read aloud, please go back and find that Jamaica's Blue Marker, that's what the title is, and listen to the story, and then come back and do this lesson. So if you have not heard this story, stop my video and go back and find this one where I'm reading it to you. So, Jamaica's Blue Marker is a story about a young girl who's in school. Her name is Jamaica. Here she is. And it looks to me like she's following directions. She's closing her eyes. She's visualizing, just like we do in chime time. She's thinking about her picture because the teacher said, think first and then draw. Then there's a boy named Russell. He comes over, and the teacher asks Jamaica to share her markers. She doesn't really want to, but she does. And instead of listening to the directions, Russell just scribbles scrabbles. He doesn't do what he's supposed to. They're supposed to be drawing a fall picture. Jamaica is really following those directions. She's drawing a nice tree with orange and yellow leaves. Well, she tells him, we need to draw a fall picture. And I guess he gets mad because he takes that blue marker and he scribbles all over her paper. Look at her face. She is so surprised that someone would do that. She shows Mrs. Worth. Then she goes home and she shows her parents. And he says, did you tell Mrs. Worth? Yup. And he can't use her markers anymore. So she shared them, and that's his consequence. Well, Russell, you can't use those markers anymore. Then they're at art, and Russell is not there. And Mrs. Worth says, we're going to have a going away party because Russell's moving, and they're going to make cards. Well, do you think Jamaica wants to make a card for Russell? She's angry. She puts it inside her desk. I'm not going to make a card. But when she's at home at dinner time, her parents talk about it. She talks about it and says, I don't ever want to move. And they're like, well, why are you asking that? And she said, well, Russell is moving. And so the sibling, the brother, says, well, he won't mess up your pictures anymore. But Dad says, I wonder how Russell feels about moving. And that one question makes Jamaica think, because she knows she wouldn't want to move. So now she's wondering, wonder how he does feel. So he's not in school here. Then he comes in with his mom. See Jamaica? She's looking at him. So Russell took out all the cards, and he's excited because everybody made a card for him. But Jamaica didn't. So then she took the blue marker out, and she ran up, and she said, "This is for you, Russell. You can use it at your new school." She wanted to give him something. She's thinking about it from his perspective. He says, "You might need it." And she says, "Someone will share with me." And he says, "Thanks. You're lucky that you get to stay here." And now Jamaica knows exactly how he feels. He's not happy about it. He's sad. So she feels for him. So he got all the cards, but what do you think is his favorite gift? The blue marker. Because that takes forgiveness. She was so angry. He used that same marker to ruin her picture. But then she thought, he's feeling sad. He's moving to a new school. So she did something that was so wonderful. And that goes along with us creating our harmony goals, our classroom goals, how we want to be treated in our classroom. I know that if you had a new student here or someone that was moving or leaving us, you would also treat them with kindness and welcome them. So that's what I want you to be thinking about, are those characteristics of a good person. What are the characteristics? What defines a person? Just like we have the characteristics of a good reader. We're talking a lot about what it means to be a good reader. What are the characteristics of being a kind friend, of being a welcoming friend, just like in our book, All Are Welcome Here. So today, we're going to talk about the characters. So we can look back in our book, we know that one of our characters is Jamaica. She's a character. A character is a person or an animal in the story. Like in Library Mouse, it was Sam the Mouse. But in this book, it's Jamaica. So I'm going to write Jamaica. It's also Russell. Russell is a character. And it's also the teacher. And you can always, a good reader goes back so they can spell things right. I look for her spelling. Mrs. Worth. Mrs. Worth. Who else is in this story? Jamaica's family, right? Her mom, dad, and Aussie is the brother. That's a lot of characters. When you see your seesaw activity, you're going to see this on here, but you're not going to see this on here. I want to see if you can tell me, where does the story take place? In every picture, where are they? In most pictures, I should say. Where are they? You're going to write what you think is the setting. Then now, we're going to talk about the problem. What is the problem in this book? In fiction, characters sometimes they encounter a problem. Well, the problem is that Russell scribbled on Jamaica's paper. There's also another problem. Can you think what it is? Russell's moving. Yes, Russell's moving. So we've got the characters here, and we can add an S because there's more than one character. There's Jamaica, Russell, Mrs. Worth, Mom, Dad, and Aussie. Those are all the characters, the main characters. The setting, where does the story take place? You're going to write that on your seesaw or record it to me. The problem is Russell scribbled on Jamaica's paper and Russell's moving. Solution is, how did they solve this problem? What did Jamaica do? So if you're not comfortable with all that writing, we're only in the beginning of first grade. You can press the microphone and record your answer to me. Just make sure you speak clearly so I can understand you, okay? Good luck. I love you. And this is our book, Jamaica's Blue Marker.